Not Alicent Hightower and Sir Criston Cole, who are old news, or Daemon Targaryen, and his cursed visions of his deceased mother Sori. But there's a hot new coupling in Westeros. Things become heated when I discuss Queen Rhaenyra Targaryen and one of her most important allies. This is what happened in Episode 6 of Season 2 of House of the Dragon. The Greens are set to launch a counter-offensive against Harrenhal with the help of Aemond and Vhagar, but not before they have assembled legions of Lannister soldiers, including real lions in cages. Their leader, Jason Lannister, uses Raven to convey a request to his twin brother, Tywin, who is a council member for Aemond. Aemond laughs at the directive. Instead, he would prefer to unite with the Triarchy in order to overcome the Valyrian barrier. Alicent disagrees. They could work with the Greyjoys instead, but they haven't responded to her correspondence. Without any delay, Aemond gives the command for Criston Cole and his soldiers to attack Harrenhal prior to Daemon mobilizing his force. When the moment is right, he will join Vhagar. Alicent tries to talk sense into her son's head when the council is dismissed, but he has already become too powerful. She is dismissed from Aemond's council and advised to focus on domestic pursuits. Eyes rolls on Dragonstone. The Dark Council is operating more experimentally. Rhaenyra is present while Corlys Velaryon, the new hand of the Queen, starts looking for possible dragonriders. One of her knights, Steffon Darklyn, is the first recruit. The Targaryens and Darklyns are entwined somewhere in their family lines. Despite the possibility of death, he takes the task with dignity. Daemon battles his most recent foe at Harrenhal, his late brother Viserys. Hi again, Paddy Considine. Isn't this a fantastic justification to bring back the cast from Season 1? Daemon relives the incident in which Viserys rejects him as heir and selects Rhaenyra in this vision. He has had enough of these visions by the time he wakes up. He attempts to depart from Harrenhal, passing by Alice Rivers en route. "There is a problem with me. It seems like someone poisoned me," he declares to Alice, the unfamiliar woman who has been serving him shady cups of liquid during his visit. Apologies, were we not supposed to think she contributed to his insanity? When Daemon begs Alice for assistance in his despair, she points him in the direction of House Tully. Although it may not be the largest home in the Riverlands, it is undoubtedly the most reliable. As an owl sits on her arm, she advises doing nothing right away, since the winds will shift in 3 days. For Sir Darklyn's dragon-driving exam, Rhaenyra and her companions summon Seasmoke back at Dragonstone. As Steffon cautiously approaches, the beast appears to comply, but just when he believes he has succeeded, she scorches him with dragonfire. Rhaenyra is in dismay. Seasmoke runs away. With a not-so-subtle hint that the appropriate dragon rider is approaching, the scene quickly cuts to Alan of Hall. When Corlys' ship is ready, he extends an invitation to sail with him. Enter Steffon Darklyn is Livebait, a member of Rhaenyra's council named Lord Bartimos. Yes, that is his name. Subjects her to an uninvited lecture. Rhaenyra slaps him across the face, frustrated. "I believe it's my fault that you no longer dread me," she remarks. However, the fact that she caused Sir Steffon to die makes her responsible. She'll search for dragon riders once more, but after what occurred, who would want to try? Positively, according to Mysaria, Rhaenyra is becoming more popular with the common people in King's Landing. Ultimately, people go hungry, even when lambs are brought into town to feed the green dragons. Even Ulf, a different dragon seed, is shown complaining about the royal family's opulent feasts to his fellow King's Landing residents. Larry Strong tries to slip in as Aemond's hand of the king back at the Greens Council, but Aemond remarks good effort. Instead, he instructs Larrys to bring his grandfather, Otto Hightower, back to his seat. Aegon has recovered consciousness, so there's hope that he might survive after all. Next, Aemond goes to see his brother to see what memories he has of the time before his catastrophic fall. When his own brother attempted to blast Aegon off his dragon, did he realize it? Aegon, however, claims he has no memory of the incident, and Aemond presses his barely healed wounds. Hurt. Rhaena finds the smoked lamb carcass and the patch of burned earth in the Vale. This could not have been caused by the small dragons she brought over from Dragonstone. It turns out that she was missiled by Lady Jane Eyre. Really, there is a big wild dragon in the Vale. Rhaena doesn't appear to be thrilled with the news that Prince Reggio has agreed to host Rhaenyra and her child in Pentos. Before Alan and Corlys, Alan's father, in case you haven't guessed, board the ship on Driftmark, the camera pans in on Alan shaving off his silver hair. Alan doesn't share Adam's optimism that Corlys will recognize them as his sons and heirs. Rhaenyra is told by Mysaria that their gift is sent. Which gift? Together, the audience and Jace inquire. At King's Landing, food-filled canoes float ashore, each with a black and crimson Targaryen flag, indicating to their recipients that Queen Rhaenyra is the one making the gesture. However, the town's inhabitants, among them Hugh Hammer and his exquisite half-bun Updo, rush and fight one another for food, turning the windfall into mayhem. Because her father, Otto, hasn't answered her letters, Alicent is concerned. She runs into her brother Gwaine, "Did you forget he was here too?" who says everything is good even though he hasn't heard from him. Her son Darren is currently squiring in Old Town, so she inquires about him. Now 16, Gwaine claims to be stalwart, clever, and well-liked by women. Above all, he is kinder than his older brothers. Criston Cole and Alicent exchange wistful glances across the courtyard before Gwaine and his depart for Harrenhal. The people who have now become even more enraged over Rhaenyra's gift jeer Alicent and Helaena when they stop at the Great Sept to pray. The mob even rebels fully as one man even grabs Alicent and a Kingsguard member slashes his arm off with a sword. As Alicent and Helaena flee for safety, they beat the knights and exclaim, "Long live Queen Rhaenyra." Larry Strong's most recent plan entails developing sympathy for the bedridden Aegon. The king hears him discuss the challenges of living with a disability and he tells him, "They will underestimate you, and this will be your advantage." Larry helps Aegon out, and it worked. After his hospitalization, Daemon discovers upon awakening from another visory stream that Lord Grover Tully has passed away. Even though Alice Rivers volunteered her own craft, she was unable to save him, or is she maybe the reason he passed away? Daemon can easily manipulate the young Oscar Tully into becoming the Lord Paramount of the Riverlands. Daemon sobs at last he can gather his forces. Adam sees a dragon flying overhead once more, but this time it's Seasmoke, and she swoops down to follow him into the forest. The scenario ends before we can learn if Adam gets burned alive or hitchhikes after being confronted. He's also a dragon seed, so I'm leaning toward the latter. Rhaenyra is having a bad conversation with Mysaria in Dragonstone. She feels that her husband Daemon has betrayed her and doesn't think she can win the fight. Mysaria talks candidly about her enigmatic past. She admits that her father violated her sexually. She was also left for dead after being stabbed in the stomach to terminate her pregnancy. She still bears the scar. It makes sense that she has struggled with trust ever since, yet Rhaenyra has accepted her for who she truly is. Rhaenyra jumps to give her a hug. They begin to kiss as they continue to linger in each other's arms. But a knight breaks them off with some news just as things are about to get heated. "Men, I hate you," constantly interjecting. He informs Rhaenyra that Seasmoke has been flying over the Spicelands. Rhaenyra just responds, yeah, that's probably a good place for him to be," as she tries to return to her previous activity. But it appears the dragon has a rider. Sadly for Mysaria, this moment is past for the time being. Rhaenyra ignores her son's pleas for her to stay behind and rides her dragon, Syrax, to set out to discover who the new dragon rider is. However, we sincerely hope that this isn't the last time we see Rhaenyra Mysaria. After all, we might as well allow the females to share a kiss if we're not going to let them engage in combat.